Hi guys, welcome to Weeknight Gluten Free, where tonight we're going to be making some chicken fried rice. So you're going to start by heating your pan over medium-high heat and then adding some oil to that. I like to use a wok for this recipe because it really helps to get everything cooked evenly. It really helps to make large batches, which I like to make large batches so that we can take some for lunch. It holds over really well for leftovers and it's one of my kids' favorites. So anyway, you're going to start heating your oil. I want to let you guys know this video is a little different than regular ones because I am going to go start to finish without making any cuts. So you can see just how easy this is. The whole meal will come together in under 10 minutes. I do have all my ingredients sitting out and ready to go, which is something I do every time I cook. I get everything out and ready first before I start cooking. I highly recommend doing this. It will make your cooking time go down significantly. It will make sure that you have everything before you start going. So in case you're missing an ingredient or something, you know that before you even start and you can get that remedied. So anyway, we're heating that oil. I'm just putting my hand over the top to make sure that it is starting to get warm. I'm not touching anything, but now that I know that it's warm, I'm going to add my frozen peas and carrots. I use frozen peas and carrots, but you can use whatever vegetables you like. Some people dice an onion or chop up some celery or put in some cabbage, corn, anything you like. Just it goes in first into the hot oil here. And my kids just really like just very simple with just peas and carrots for theirs. So that's what I make most of the time. And then, of course, we salt and pepper at this step. You should always salt and pepper your veggies. When you are making any recipe like this, it brings the most flavor. It is best for the cooking process. So I just definitely recommend seasoning here at this first vegetable cooking step of almost any recipe, to be honest. And so you're just going to want to keep moving things around the pan. Whenever you make fried rice or anything similar to that, the easiest thing to do is accidentally stop moving it and then things start to burn. So you just want to consistently move the food in the pan while it cooks. That's how you get even cooking. It's how you make sure nothing burns. It's how you get everything good and ready to go in the pan. And so yeah, you can just see I keep moving those around, making sure everything's getting cooked nice and evenly. We're waiting for that oil to get back up to temperature because it does cool down when you put the vegetables in the pan. So you just want that oil to come back to temperature before you add anything else. And you'll know because the vegetables will start to sizzle, and then you're just going to push everything to one side of the pan, as you can see here, and that's because we are going to add in our eggs. This is just 6 eggs scrambled up. I did 6 because of the amount I'm making. This is going to make a huge batch. If you're making a smaller batch, you can do less. I typically do 1 egg per serving that I'm trying to make approximately. You can always do less or more to your taste as well, but that's what my family tends to like. So I did 6 eggs here. I ended up getting a little bit more than 6 servings out of this, but that's totally okay. No one seemed to notice that there was slightly less eggy than usual because it wasn't that much. You really couldn't tell. So you let the eggs cook a little and then you start mixing them in with the vegetables while they cook. And again, just keep moving everything around the pan. We move everything. We never let it sit for very long. So we just want to keep moving everything around the pan. And you can see those eggs are starting to cook more. They're combining with the warm vegetables. That's helping to cook them too, and just getting everything kind of incorporated together, which is really important in a recipe like this, that you get everything incorporated together. You want it to be kind of a homogeneous mixture throughout. You want every bite to be approximately the same. So now that those eggs are cooked, we're going to add in our chicken. I'm using canned chicken this time because that's what I had. I wanted to use it up. You can use leftover chicken, you can use beef, you can use pork, you can use anything. You can use tofu if you don't want meat. Whatever you want, just make sure that whatever product you choose, especially if it's meat, you want it to be cooked before you put it in the pan. And fried rice like this is a really great way to use leftover meat products. So if you're somebody that buys a rotisserie chicken and you don't always use all the meat off of it, maybe the wings, legs, things like that, you can cut that off and chop it up and put it in some fried rice. If you have, like at Christmas time, we had leftover prime rib, you can cut that up and put it in. Anything like that is great. So now we're just adding some cold cooked brown rice. Now, most people probably make their fried rice with white rice, and I do that when I have white rice, but this time I had brown rice. I buy brown rice more often than white rice just because I feel like it has a bit more vitamins, minerals, it's got more fiber. It's just generally what I buy. So I had some leftover cold cooked brown rice. I highly recommend using cold rice. You definitely want it pre-cooked before you put it in for the frying process. But it's better if it's like a day old cold in the fridge or from the freezer. You can use frozen rice as well. It just cooks better when it goes in cold, I think. You get a better texture. So again, we're going to move around the pan. We're going to get everything mixed in together and get that rice warmed back up to the same temperature as everything else. So we're just consistently moving everything around the pan, getting it all combined. And also, if you don't have a wok, you can do this in any frying pan you have. Just make sure that the amount of stuff you're making is not exceeding the size of your pan. Now we're just adding some tamari gluten-free soy sauce. So any tamari sauce or anything labeled gluten-free soy sauce is good to use in this recipe. That is what is going to give you that classic fried rice taste. So you definitely don't want to skip that step. A lot of people I have seen make fried rice without adding tamari or soy sauce or anything like that. I do not recommend it. You are going to get the taste you're thinking of when you think of fried rice. That comes from that soy sauce. So I just douse the whole thing in that. And then again, just keep moving it around the pan. Keep moving it so that everything gets nice, cooked, heated, warmed, so it looks really good. And at this point, you are nearly done. Once you get everything up to a warm temperature and it starts to your rice will get like slightly brown. You can see there the eggs are getting like slightly browned. And that is when you know that this recipe basically done. I'm just going to keep mixing it here for a couple more seconds to make sure everything is nice and combined and everything is really, we've got egg and veggie and chicken in every bite. But that's it. That's dinner. And of course, this meal, as always, is Bailey approved. Have a good night.